just another golden nugget for today, okay? All right, so here are some unique ways to find leads. Okay, these are just a little bit different. Auction houses, we talked about that earlier. I want you to go to auctionzip.com, put in your zip code, and then just check on the different days. And usually they have the same sale like every week, so if it's a Friday night auction, they have it every Friday night. So you can kind of go through a week and pick up the different auction houses and then get the contact information and contact those auction houses. Besides calling them on the phone, I would actually take the time to show up and introduce yourself and let them know who you are. On this particular technique of face-to-face, I feel is much, much better, especially if you're going to have an auction house that's going to bring you leads on a continual basis. Okay. Estate sales and yard sales. Love these. Same concept, really. On the weekend, we'll take the time to stop at estate sales and yard sales. Make sure you have flyers, make sure you have business cards in your car. Talk to the person who's doing the sale. And we've bought houses doing this. I got all my mom's stuff and I need to get rid of all of this stuff and I don't know what I'm going to do about the house. Okay, that's an answer that we get fairly often. So that's really good. With yard sales, sometimes they're going into foreclosure and they're trying to sell enough stuff to make their next mortgage payment. We've had that happen, where they're 2 or 3 mortgage payments behind. And we end up getting a house that way. We like that a lot too. Okay, so these are just some other ideas, and a lot of the investors are not doing this stuff. These are leads that are free leads for you folks. Okay? I mean, if you're going somewhere on a Saturday and you drive past a yard sale, take 5 minutes and stop and ask. Especially estate sales, I like those a lot, because the estate sales quite often, it's an heir that's frustrated or they just don't know what to do. And, I wish I had relatives like this, but I don't. You would be so amazed at how many properties that we have bought. My uncle left me this house, and I don't know why he left. I don't even know it. I've never even seen it. Where are my relatives like that? The lady that was all PO'd about, this uncle left me this house, and she walked away from that closing with $100 and some grand, and she's mad. I don't get it. But anyway, I don't have any of those. Storage units. Storage units, folks. Really, really good lead source for you. Go into the storage units. Most of them have public boards. They will allow you to put your flyer on the public board. If someone has a storage unit, maybe they're being transferred, they've just moved here, they don't have a place yet, so you got a prospective tenant there perhaps. So storage units are really, really good. I also give them my business card. And if they're talking to somebody and they're having the person at the storage unit is having a conversation with a client, they'll simply give them our business card. Well, if you need to sell that house, these people can help you. Storage units are really, really good. And I'll bet a lot of your competition here is not doing that either. Okay. Junk haulers. These are really good. Call the junk hauling companies. Okay, same concept as the auction house. People call junk haulers because they need a house emptied out. Could be an estate. Could be a foreclosure. Could be a divorce. Junk everything. Could be a monkey house. Wouldn't want any of that furniture either. Okay, could be a fire deal, something like that. All right, so call these junk hauler companies and make that relationship with them. Same thing, pay them $500 when they bring you a lead that you buy. Okay. Are these good ideas, yes? You think any of your competitors are doing it? No, absolutely not. Code enforcement, we've already talked about that. Homeowners associations. We own property, the same one where I have the realtor sending me the list of subdivisions. Those are subdivisions with homeowners associations. I contacted the homeowners association because we've owned homes in there, we bought and flipped. They know us, they know who we are, they know we're responsible. We contact the homeowners association. Do you have people that are, like really behind on their payments, or are they in foreclosure? And they'll give me, man, do me a favor, go by this house, take a look at it and see what y'all can do. It's vacant, it's ugly, and it's messing up the neighborhood. And we don't like it. They're really hissy about it. And they owe us for 9 months of fees. want to follow up on. So contact homeowners associations, especially if you own properties there. There's a homeowners association, a condo association, and we own, gosh, we've had 5 condos in there. We own 2 in there right now. But we've had 5 condos in there total. And they like us a lot, because when they ask us to do stuff like take care of the gutter or this or that, because they're tenant units, so they generally will call us and tell us that something's going on. And they like us a lot. And so when they have, you know, and usually it's an estate kind of situation with the condos, and they'll call us and let us know that something's up, and, you know, can we maybe help that person, or can we maybe, you know, buy that property? So that's another really good idea that we use as well. So if there are properties that you bought in subdivisions with homeowners associations, contact them. And, you know, hey, look, we've already done this one house. We've already increased the values in your neighborhood, and which we did. This one that we did, we've done 2 houses in there, and we've upped their property values big time, because the houses were drop dead perfect, and they brought top retail photo. And so the homeowners association likes us a lot. Okay, so that's just another idea. A lot of your fellow investors are not doing this. Craigslist. We run ads on Craigslist all the time. We buy houses, sell your house now, sell your house in any condition, and, you know, close on the date of your choice. So we use a lot of these headlines, and we'll run like the same ad with like several different headlines. And we get calls from our Craigslist ads pretty regularly. So that's another way. We also use Craigslist to find wholesale buyers. So that's another really good way. Let's see, where are we? Craigslist. FSBO signs. Of course, we've talked about that. Anytime you drive by a for sale by owner, make sure that you, you know, take a picture of that, or write down the address, contact the seller, and see what kind of a deal you can put together. See what you can do with that. Buses and taxi cabs. We have done buses, we have done taxi cabs, we've done billboards. And so one of the things that you need to keep in mind when you're doing that type of advertising, write this down, remnant space. Remnant space. We do bus benches, for example. I pay for 3. We usually have 7 or 8. Because it's embarrassing for a bus bench company to have an empty bench sitting with no advertising on it, right? You wouldn't want to drive down the street and see, you know, a bus bench that's supposed to be an advertised bus bench, and there's nothing on it. Okay, that's embarrassing. So what they'll do is they'll put your ad on that bus bench until that spot is sold, and then they take it off. So we generally have, we'll be surprised if we're driving down the road. It's like, oh, there's our ad. We didn't pay for that one. It's kind of cool. Okay, so remnant space. So the same thing like buses, taxi cab ads, you know, the ads that they put on top of the taxi cabs, they're like banners on top of the taxi cab, same thing, remnant space with that. And then the bus benches, we've done buses. My best story of a bus was so cool. We were doing buses, and we don't do buses anymore, but we made a really bad mistake with buses. We bought an ad on the side of a bus instead of on the back of the bus. Nobody sees the ad on the side of the bus. So we were tied into a year contract. I was like, pooh. So one night, Fox News in Florida was doing this whole feature about our county building these shelters so that when people were waiting for the bus, they didn't get soaking wet. And so they came and they're shooting, and the bus is sitting there and the shelter is sitting there, and it was like, you know, 2 or 3 minutes, and they're talking about it, and there's our ad on the side of the bus, and I'm going, yes, 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 finally! And we actually got like 5 calls from that broadcast. I was like, yes, finally, the dumb thing worked. But after our years, we didn't do that anymore. If it's not on the back of the bus, don't do it. That was an oopsie. That we learned the hard way. There are those lessons that you'll learn the hard way as your life goes on. Calling on ads. This is very cool. For those of you who got my system this morning, you have all of this in there. You have the scripts, you have everything. The Calling on Ads campaign is very cool. What we do, we have one person, because we've tracked and tested, we have one person who on Sunday night between 5 and 9 p.m., because that's when the highest number of folks are at home, they call on the for sale by owner and for rent by owner ads, newspaper, shopper's guide, Craigslist. You know, if you have like those throwaway papers, like a shopper's guide or a pinch a penny or whatever they call those here, the ones that they throw in your driveway, those are really, really good. So what they do, they have a specific script for sale by owner and a specific script for rent by owner. They call the people because obviously they have a house they want to sell. And even the ones that have them for rent, half the time it's because they inherited the thing, they don't know what to do, so they throw it on the market as a rental. So they're really good leads too. They fill out the telephone script. They ask all the pertinent questions, and they fill out that telephone script. And then they email them to me the next morning. Well, my girls have gotten so good at it, what I get is, call him now. Don't waste your time. Okay? So they've gotten really, really good at the pre-screening process. But this is a really good way for you to get some non-threatening leads in without you having to put a hand on it. And basically what I do is I pay them $1 a lead. So that's the way it goes. So I usually get 30, 40 leads on a Monday. So they've made 30 or 40 bucks for the week to be on the phone to call the leads in, like I said, the shopper guide, Craigslist, and the newspaper, and the classified. And the classified part of the newspaper, they get those offline. They're right online, at least where I live, the newspaper's online, and they just go to the classified and just pull them right offline, so they don't even have to buy a paper or anything like that. So that's something else that I'm sure a lot of your other investors are not doing. Good idea, right? Yes? Yeah, because we used to call it ads back in the early days. Gosh, I hated it. But there were leads there. So that's something that minutia that went off my desk to somebody who likes it better than I do. Okay, so that's another really good idea. Your local real estate club. Obviously, you guys know that your local real estate club is a really good place to be. There's hard money lenders, there's wholesalers there, you're getting education. So there's a lot of really great ways for you to get leads because you've got wholesalers there and they're talking about properties that they have for sale. So you definitely want to work with your local real estate club to get leads coming in. And let people know what you want to do. And I'll tell you right now, for those of you who are newbies in the room, I'll just give you a quick idea. When we bought, the first house that I showed you up on the screen, the one I called the haunted house,
Yep.
that had all the stuff, okay? He simply wanted to deed us that property, and at that time I had no clue what that even meant. None. No clue at all. So I went to my local real estate club, and I got one of the guys from our local real estate club who was doing those regularly. You saw my check, right? $51,635. I paid him $10,000 to make $51,635. We gave him $10,000 at the time of closing to help us and provide us with that paperwork to help us learn how to take a property with the deed. So, get attached to the people in your local real estate club, figure out who everybody is and make those connections. It was totally worth 10 grand for me to make 51,000. Yes? Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay? So that's just another idea for you. That's some of the things that we had to do back in the beginning. We kind of have a motto in our business, and it's been that way since the very beginning. Kathy jumps in and makes the mess, and hubby cleans it up. And it's still kind of that way, and now he's got a whole rehab crew behind him, so if I make a really big mess, it's like, we can take care of that, we can fix that for her. So, anyway, but that's been our motto through our entire real estate career. Okay, free press releases. This is very cool. You can go to your local newspaper and get a free press release. Hey, I want to announce my new business. We're real estate investors, and this is what we do, and we've been in business now for a year, and here's our contact information, and they'll do a free press release for you. Right in the paper, free advertising. I'm all about cheap. I'm getting to be just like Lou Brown. I'm all about, free leads and ways to find more leads coming in, especially when I'm out in groups like this, because I know that we have a lot of beginners in the room, and I want you guys to be really, really successful. So I want to share a lot of the things that we're doing in our business. Lumpy items. Oh, shoot. Jay, can you grab me my envelope?
Yeah.
I forgot it.